Welcome to the Dojotalkpodcast. Please remove them shoes before entry.
Sam Master is here, and you still have not taken off your shoes.
Yeah. Living every day to define man's mission. Looking to the sky for divine transmission. Deaf man's vision makes the blind man listen. Eyes on the prize, this is blind ambition. Thank you.
Yo, what's going on, world? Welcome to another edition of the Dojo Talk Podcast. I am your host, Serial Sensei. We are on episode number 91. Get it? Episode number 91. It is June 17th, 2018, which means if you're hearing this at the time of this recording, it is Father's Day, or I guess by the time you guys hear this, Father's Day will have passed. But at the time of this recording, it is Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to all of the fathers out there. I just found out that my dad is not in town, so I can't give him my gift right now. But, you know, it is what it is. But, yeah, man, happy Father's Day to all you guys out there, man. Hope you guys have a good weekend. Hopefully you don't got to work too hard, man. Just kick back, relax, man, and enjoy the day. You know, just be peaceful. Live peaceful for a day, man. Just sit back, chill out, you know. Don't do anything too crazy. But yeah, man. It's been an interesting week. I learned something this week that it's cool. I ain't gonna say it's cool. It's necessary to take breaks, man. Like between, you know, podcasting, which, you know, my solo episodes, I'm reviewing music, so I'm always looking up music to review. I'm always taking notes for albums. Then, of course, you know, I record with my co-host Antarcool. We cover fights, so, you know, gotta rewatch fights over, and, you know, it's a lot of work between doing that, and then I edit the podcast, so editing, and then outside of the podcast, you know, just dealing with work, still working on this book, and just doing other life things. Like I was really burned out this week. Like I remember I worked out Sunday morning, and then I worked out Monday, and then like I just crashed, man. Like I just had no energy on Monday, and I decided like I'm just gonna take a break this week, man. I'm not gonna work hard. I'm not working out. I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna try to write or do much of anything creative, man. I just want to relax. So literally, I think outside of the podcast that we did for UFC 225, which shout outs to everybody who's been watching that, man. I'm enjoying the numbers. They're looking pretty decent. You know, so shout outs to everybody who listened to that podcast, which was very long. So if you got through that, man, I know it was a challenge, but you know, we love you guys, appreciate it. But yeah, man, it was I was just burned out this week, man. So I just decided like I'm just gonna take it easy. So I've been chilling this week, man, trying to just enjoy myself, not really working too hard. Literally, like I said, outside of recording for this UFC 225 and literally this podcast I'm doing right now, I haven't done much of anything in terms of work, man. I had to unplug for a little bit, and it's been much needed. I'll see how I feel tomorrow on Monday. You know, if I'm feeling up to it, I'll hit the ground, start running again, start getting the ball rolling again. But sometimes it's cool to take breaks, man. Just sometimes you just gotta unplug from the matrix, because it will burn you out with the quickness if you're not careful. So if you feel that moment happening to you, like don't guilt trip yourself. I do it all the time. You guilt trip yourself when you're not doing anything, but sometimes you need to take breaks. Breaks are much needed, man. We ain't superhumans out here, bro. We need we don't got the luxury of sensu beans. We got to chill out sometimes. So yeah, man, I've been taking the chill pill this week. But it's been a lot going on, man. It's absurd, the amount of, and I know some of y'all are probably looking at this album title like you're just now getting to talking about these albums. I know I'm late. It's whatever. It's been a lot going on. in terms of music, just it's been everything. Just this whole summer is just really this whole year, man. It's been music and music and music. We had E3 not too long ago. Like, it's just been a lot going on. So I guess I'm gonna just jump right into it. Let's talk about E3 for a little bit. Not gonna spend too much time, but I definitely wanted to at least cover a little bit of it because I did see plenty of things that caught my eye. A lot of E3 I did not get to watch in real time because a lot of these were on while I was at work, so I catch them like a day or two later, catch clips here and there when I could. I think now I've seen, you know what? I still have not watched Ubisoft's conference, but it's whatever. I saw like the majority of E3. I give it like a good 95%. I saw. There's a few things that caught my eye. I mean, overall, I thought the conferences were pretty dope overall. Everybody between Xbox, Sony, and Nintendo gave me, something to look forward to. So Microsoft's E3, admittedly I'm not really a big Xbox guy, but any new Gears of War, I'm all for, I'm all about. So I'm all for that. I'm gonna be on that when that comes out. I still haven't beat Gears of War 4. I started playing it. I got really far into it, and then I just kind of stopped. Just life kind of happens sometimes. I'm pretty sure I've said this before. I don't have as much time to dedicate to games as I used to. Now it's almost buying them now is like a novelty. Like, I buy them and they sit on the shelf. And they don't, But I play them when I can. But yeah, Gears of War for Xbox, all about that. I did not see the Cuphead trailer. I'm just realizing. I'm pretty sure Xbox did something about Cuphead during that conference. And I've actually never played it, but I just even watching it from afar, it looks really dope. So I'm pretty sure that'll be exciting. Cyberpunk 2077, that looked really, really interesting. I need to go back and give that trailer another look. A lot of this I haven't watched over. I haven't watched over again since like the first time I watched them. New Devil May Cry, that should be fire. So Xbox had a pretty good conference, but I was waiting for Sony, man, because I knew that there were two things in particular I was really looking forward to, and I got to see both of them. I got to see a lot more in both of them than I thought I would. Number one being The Last of Us 2. I don't know if I've mentioned this on this podcast before, but the first Last of Us I would consider like a top 10 game of all time, no question. That game is amazing. So I've been waiting for part 2, and not only did we get trailer, man, we got a lot of gameplay that they showed at the conference, and man, it looks so much more fluid. The way it like switches from like 1 second she's fighting and throwing a bottle, the way it like transitions is so smooth. Like 1 second she'll be fighting and throwing a bottle, next second she's like ducking in between two objects to get out of the way or something. But everything looks so smooth in that trailer, and it looks really intense. Graphic wise, it looks amazing. That's a call out there, basically. when The Last of Us 2 drops, when that comes out, I might have to take like a day or two off work to give that some undivided attention. So that trailer looks amazing. If you've never played The Last of Us, man, you gotta change your life. You gotta get on it, because that joint is certified heat, and I have no doubt the second one should be just as good as the first, possibly even better, the way that gameplay footage looked. So The Last of Us 2, man, that's gonna be some fire. The main thing I wanted to see from Sony's E3 was Death Stranding, which we all know that's Kojima's game. It's crazy, even after numerous trailers and this gameplay footage, and this game looks pretty beautiful, I still have no idea what this game is about. But it's Kojima. I trust him, so I'm in there. He had my money at the announcement of this game, because I trust anything he does. I'll never doubt him. He's never let me down before, so I can't not support. And yeah, that game the gameplay made it look even more eerie and creepy. The way they had Norman Reedus' character kind of sneaking around, and those little I don't know, the little ghost spirit, whatever you want to call them things, were over there. And that game looks massive too, man. It was just like massive amounts of land. But like visually, it looked really good. Like I said, it looked eerie. It looked weird. It looked like something I want though. That's the bottom line. Like I said, I trust Kojima. He's never let me down to this point, so I have no reason not to be on it. So Death Stranding will definitely be getting my money. The last game I'll mention for Sony, and they had a lot of good stuff, but Ghost of Tsushima, man, that might be one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen. Like the scenery, the way like the grass and like the flowers and everything in that game looks so good. And the gameplay, man, I got some real nostalgic like Tenchu vibes. If anybody out there, if y'all remember the OG PlayStation days, man, Tenchu Stealth Assassins, I got some Tenchu vibes from that game, got some Onimusha vibes from that game. And I'm not really too sure what the story is. Didn't see too much in terms of story. I mean, they introduced the main character, and there's another woman there, but they had like a bit of an interaction. But I'm not too sure what the story is. I haven't researched this game much. That was the first I'd ever seen of it. But that game looks amazing. Like that's a PS4 exclusive. That's a first day buy. Like I feel like that's a game that I've been waiting for, like an open world, like samurai kind of game. Like I think that's gonna fill a void, because I've been petitioning. I say petitioning, but like I've been wanting like a Tenchu remake for a long time. And if I'm not gonna get a Tenchu remake, I'll take this. This seems right up the same alley as what that was. So I might just get this game just out of it filling a void that Tenchu, was never remade. So I've just been wanting something else to give me that fix, and this seems like it could be that. So Ghost of Tsushima, that's gonna be fire. Nintendo's press conference, that's all about Super Smash Brothers, man. But I'm gonna say something, man. I was a little heated at that trailer, because anybody who knows me, I'm a huge Luigi fan. And when they were going through all of the character lists, because they said every character from the previous games would be in this game, and I'm waiting this whole trailer like, all right, all y'all Mario, Bowser, and Samus, like, y'all cool, man. Y'all don't show me Luigi, don't play with me. And they waited till the last second to show Luigi and Yoshi. I swear, if Luigi did not appear in this game, I'm writing some angry letters, I'm fighting somebody, somebody's catching wrath. But Luigi showed up, so it's all good. I need to rewatch Nintendo's conference. Like I said, I don't remember a lot of it now. It's a couple days later, but Smash Brothers was pretty much the main event, so to speak. So I don't have a Switch yet, but I really need to get a Switch, because I definitely need to play Smash Brothers. And shout outs to Kingdom Hearts 3 for allegedly being a real thing now. I've been poking fun at this game forever, because I still don't think it's ever going to come out. But nah, man, the footage they showed of that did look really dope, man. The whole Pirates of the Caribbean they had going on, that was really awesome. I think it's funny they still got y'all waiting until 2019 to buy this game that people have been waiting for since, like, God knows when. Like, Kingdom Hearts 3, Detox, and Carter 5 were all locked in like the same vault somewhere. Well, I guess Lil Wayne won his court case, so maybe Carter 5 will be a real thing. And I guess Kingdom Hearts is making this escape out the vault. But that's a real thing. So I never beat any Kingdom Hearts games. I wasn't huge on them as much as everybody else was, but I'll probably buy that one. If for anything, I just felt like it's an ancient artifact. It's a game that I never thought would even be real, and it's real, or it's allegedly real. I still am not gonna believe it until I go to a store and I see it on a shelf and I can physically pick it up and look at the disc and all that good stuff. But it's allegedly a real thing, so I'll probably buy that just because. But yeah, man, E3 overall was pretty dope, man. I got my fix of the games that I wanted to see. Oh, last note, the Resident Evil 2 remake. Resident Evil 2, man. I got some stories. People, anytime I have a conversation with someone and they ask me, what's the scariest movie you've ever seen? And I tell them that there is no scariest movie. The scariest thing I've ever encountered was Resident Evil 2. It's a video game. That's scarier to me than any movie I've ever watched, ever in life. That game traumatized me as a kid. I literally had like recurring nightmares that I still remember about that game when I was little. So when I saw that remake, I was like, nah, I don't want no parts of this. I do not. I had nightmares about this game back when characters, just look like little blocks running around. I don't, I can't watch Mr. X and next gen graphics. I don't know if I can handle that. But the remake itself, man, it does look really good. It looks every bit as scary as the original. I've pondered that when that comes out, I should maybe stream it just because there'll be legit fear in that stream. Like it won't be a game. I'm terrified of that game. But bro, when they showed my man in the trench coat, I was like, oh no, nope, nah, bro, I'm good. Hard pass. This game looks amazing, but I don't want no smoke with this. I don't want no smoke. But I don't know. We'll see what happens when that comes out. But yeah, I'm terrified of that game. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. But we'll see. Maybe I'll stream it when it comes out. Maybe I'll chicken out and I won't. Who knows? But I'll keep y'all updated. But yeah, E3 overall was pretty dope. So definitely, if you haven't gotten a chance to check it out, all the conferences are still online. Go give them a look. I'm pretty sure you'll see something that you'll enjoy. But that's all I got for E3. So let's go to some music, which I know. I'm late on these albums, or at least on some of them. But like I said, a lot of times I just like to sit with albums a bit longer. Even though all of these albums that I'll be reviewing are very short, I still like to sit with albums, see how they grow on me over time, to see if my feelings change at all. So the 3 albums, man, I got on deck for the day: Pusha T's Daytona, Black Thought and Ninth Wonder's Stream of Thought, and Kanye West and Kid Cudi, group effort Kid See Ghosts. So we will start with the album that I probably should have reviewed a long time ago. I'm sure most of you have heard dozens of times already. That album being Pusha T's Daytona. So I guess I kind of missed the chance to recap the Pusha T and Drake beef. By the time you guys hear this, man, that's in today's society, that's old news right now. Like that beef kind of came and went. Jay Prince got involved. He shut it down. I guess I heard allegedly Drake might be responding though on his album that he's got coming out. So I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm gonna just say as of right now, Pusha T gave him the knockout punch. Anytime you gotta go online and start doing damage control about a blackface picture you took, I think that's an L, homie. I think that's an L. So yeah, I mean we talked about it. Me and my co-host Antico, we kind of gave a little recap of it on so within like the last 2 episodes we recorded. So if you want to hear some thoughts on there, you can go listen to the beginning of that podcast. We talked about it. But I mean, to make it short, it was a nice little moment. It's a nice little battle. Drake had a cool freestyle. I like the Duppy freestyle, but I think he thought he was going to put Pusha T away with that, and Push came back with the counter punch, and he was down for the 10 count. I don't think he ever got back up, or either he got back up, but he in the corner, trying to get advice. But anywho, we just gonna keep it on the music tip today. Pusha T-Daytona. If you don't know who Pusha T is, man, part of the Clips. You know, Virginia MC. Dude's been in the game for a while. Has albums such as My Name Is My Name, Darkest Before Dawn. You should know who he is by now. I'm pretty sure after this beef, if you didn't know, you've hopefully done your Googles and all that. But I've always been a Pusha T fan because Clips is one of my favorite like hip hop groups ever. Actually, I can't remember if I mentioned this before, but Lord Willing is actually, if my memory serves me correctly, was the first album that I ever bought with my own money. Not the first album that I ever heard, but the first album where I earned money and I said I'm going to spend it because I want to hear this album. So I've always just kind of had like an attachment to anything Clips does, just because it just kind of holds that memory with me. Like just anytime I hear Pusha T's name or Malice's name, it just transports me back, man, to that time when I was, first starting to buy albums, and this was one of the first. Lord Willing at the time was one of the first albums that I'd ever bought. But so fast forward years later, Pusha T putting out solo albums out here on Good Music. So we'll just get into it, man. Daytona, follow up to Darkest Before Dawn, which came out, I want to say in like 2015. So it's been a little bit since we heard from Push. But in short, man, this album is pretty much what I wanted from Pusha T. And I gotta give Kanye West props, man. I know he's been going through. I ain't gonna get into it. That's a whole nother podcast. I'm gonna just try to keep it on the music tip, just for the sake of this podcast. But yeah, man, I really liked what Kanye did with the production for this album for Push. I think this style fits him perfectly. I mean, to be honest, out of all of these little 7-track releases that Kanye has been a part of and produced, I think to me this is by far and large the best one. Like I said, I think the style it fits Push really well. I like the chops, the sample chops. I like at times that like it's real gritty. It really just fits Push really well. I mean, with Pusha T, you know what you're gonna get from Push, man. He's one of those dudes that you listen to a Pusha T project, you know you're gonna get, what I like to call just grade A dope dealer rap, sophisticated drug dealer rap, whatever you want to call it. But I have to give him credit because a lot of people say like, oh, that's all he raps about. But really, if you've listened to the Clips, like if you've heard their evolution, like everything from Clips projects to the Re-Up Gang mixtapes, like the We Got It For Cheap, Volume 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth, and then even Push's solo work. As much as as much as he does, definitely talks about the drug game a lot, he still kind of ties in like life lessons and things like that into it. So I think he doesn't get credit for that. But he definitely ties in. He gives you both sides. It's not just the glamorous, oh, I sell drugs, I'm great, I'm making all this money. He still talks about like the negative effects of it, even how sometimes he knows what he's doing is wrong, but it kind of just is what it is. But so I just wanted to give him some credit for that. But at the end of the day, man, when I put on the Pusha T album, I'm trying to hear that sophisticated drug dealer rap. That's what I got from this, over some dope, just sample chops, gritty beats. Kanye did the thing on this album, man. So I mean, it's not a lot to dive into in terms of content other than the infrared track, which I don't really need to go into right now. Like I said, at the time of this recording, that whole beef and came and went. So you guys already know what infrared is about. So that's pretty much what this album is, man. It's just beats and great drug dealer rap and the clever way that Pusha T can do it. Like he seems to just reinvent. He reinvents the content and just makes it fresher every time somehow. And that's what I go to him for. And he gives me what I want every time. And so that's why I forever listen to his projects. I know what I'm gonna get, and it's what I get. And he finds ways to reinvent it and still make it fresh. Whether it be the production he chooses or just his wordplay, which is really crazy, but yeah, that's what this album is, man. So I'm gonna just go through some favorites. I mean, it's only 7 tracks. If you know, you know, man. That joint is fire. That beat from Kanye is fire. It's a great opener to the project. And if you know, you know, I feel like kind of encapsulates Pusha T's career, speaking kind of in that lingo, because pretty much if you know, you know is basically him speaking in like drug dealer code, and it's like, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know, you probably wasn't about this life. It just don't got nothing to do with you. You know, just listen to the beat and nod your head. But you know, if you know, you know. So great opener to the project. I love the line, the company I keep is not corporate enough. Child rebel soldier, you ain't orphan enough. A rapper turned trapper can't morph into us, but a trapper turned rapper can morph into Puff. Just lines, bro. It's so many good quotables on this project. Other standouts, the games we play. I love how like grand and kind of like that beat almost has like a victorious, like real lavish kind of feel to it, and it kind of plays into the kind of like the idea of the track. Push talks a lot about just like his success, his like lavish kind of lifestyle, and you know how the good things that it's been able to afford him. So that beat is just really dope. It fits really well. I thought Push did a really good job with like the hooks on some of these songs. They're actually some of the better hooks that I've heard from him in terms of his solo releases. So like I said, this project pretty much comes out the gate swinging. My favorite track on here would probably be Hard Piano, which features Rick Ross. This beat is so perfect for Push to go over. It's that real dark, just brooding piano in the background. Pusha T's doing what he does, man. Quality drug dealer rap just over this. Really, just like I said, I really love how just dark that piano is in the background. Really dope. Guest feature from Rick Ross, who has a pretty solid verse. I love the singing on the hook with the Santo Domingo. That track is so it's so good. That track goes, man. That track is great. That's probably, like I said, easily my favorite on this whole project. Santeria, man. Aside from the content, which I'll say on this track, this is probably one of the more content-driven tracks. Pusha T talks a lot about the death of, I think it was his former road manager. I cannot remember the gentleman's name off the top of my head, but content-wise, it's one of the more personal tracks on the album. So aside from that, appreciating it for that reason. This beat, yeah, Kanye, he killed this one. The first part of the beat, if you're a Clips fan, if you used to listen to the Re-Up Gang tapes, the We Got It For Cheap mixtapes, this first half of the beat is pretty much that same sample from the Ultimate Flow, which I want to say was We Got It For Cheap Volume 2. So as soon as it came on, I was like, oh man, takes me straight back. Like it takes you straight back to that mixtape. But then towards the second half of the beat, man, beat switches up, the drums just start slapping. It's so ill the way the second half of this beat switches up, man. Yeah, I don't know. Kanye, he put his foot in this one, man. He definitely put his foot in this beat. Like I said, man, out of all these 7 track releases, man, I think he might have gave Push some of his best material that he had. But yeah, that beat is dope. And the last track I'll mention is Comeback Baby. And really, I just kind of like that sample that he uses during the hook. Just real soulful, kind of funky sample that I like how he chopped up and used. That's more just, quality drug dealer rap. But like I said, the sample that he used for that hook I thought was really awesome. But really, there aren't any tracks on here that I don't like. All the tracks are good. Lyrics is on point. Lots of quotables. Great beats from Kanye. I don't really know what else you can ask for. Like I said, man, this tape is just, it's quality, grade A drug dealer rap. And you listen to Pusha T, I don't know what more else you want from him, but that's what you got. So, yeah, man, I thoroughly enjoyed this project. The fact that it's 7 tracks, I'm not gonna get into the album, EP, debate, whatever. I actually enjoyed that this is 7 tracks because I can just let this ride all the way through. I can listen to this like numerous times on a loop and not get tired of it. Because it, like I said, the beats are really dope. The tracks flow into each other very well. It's very well put together. For 7 tracks, you know, you don't have time for filler, and I don't think he gave us any filler. Like, all of these joints, all of these go, man. So, hey, man, I don't got much else to say. Pusha T killed it. Daytona was a fire album. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I'm pretty sure this will be on my year-end list because it's still getting pretty heavy rotation. So, shout outs to Pusha T, man. I want to say, did he hit number 1 with this? I can't remember. I think he hit number 1 with this. I think this was like his first number 1 release. I'm not entirely sure. But either way, man, it's a really dope album. Great job from Pusha T. Features were on point. Beats were on point. It, like I said, the way Kanye crafted these beats for Push, it fits his style perfectly. Everything meshed together well, and we got a dope project. So definitely give Daytona a listen. And if you're just now like getting into Pusha T, go back, man. Go back and listen to the Clips album. Listen to Lord Willin'. Listen to Hell Hath No Fury, which might be like the best D-boy rap album ever created over some Neptune's beats. Go listen to the We Got It For Cheap mixtapes, especially volume 2 and 3. Yeah, man. Push has been in this game for a while, man. He has a lot of good material out there from the Clips work to his solo work. So if you're just now getting introduced to him, I would definitely encourage you, if you like this, go back and listen to some of his previous work. I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy it. So that's it for Pusha T's Daytona. Moving on down the list, next album, which is an EP, we got Black Thought, Streams of Thought, which is produced almost entirely by Ninth Wonder. I think minus 1 track, which was the last track, Thank You. But Black Thought, legendary, member of the Roots crew, been in the game since late 80s, early 90s. If you don't know who Black Thought is, I don't really know much to tell you if you've never listened to, from Illadelph Half-Life to How I Got Over, which I think I would say that's my favorite Roots album. I'm not sure, I have to go back and listen to more. But How I Got Over, Undone, Things Fall Apart, Rising Down. The Roots just got project after project. One of the most consistent groups ever. I can't really think of a time I've listened to a Roots album and been disappointed. But yeah, man, dude, Black Thought's a legendary MC from Philly, but we've never gotten a solo project from him in all these years because he's always been a part of the Roots Collective. So this album, or EP I should say, just kind of came out of nowhere. Being produced by Ninth Wonder seems like a magical fit, and that's what it was. This joint, bars. That's just what this album is, man. This album is this is everything Black Thought does. It's just bars, man. Dude just really flexes his just lyrical, prestige, so to speak, over these beats. What I did enjoy, I gotta give Ninth Wonder credit, because I like that this, to me, didn't sound like a typical Ninth Wonder album. Like, these beats I think are a bit more gritty than I've heard from him, especially listening to beats like Making a Murderer. It's a real gritty kind of beat. So I really like the way Ninth crafted the sound of this. It was perfect for, these beats were perfect for Black Thought to just kind of just black out and just go over and just go in. But like I said, I like the grittiness to some of them. I thought that was a good tape and made it an interesting listen sonic wise. So shout outs to Ninth, man. All the beats on this project were dope. Like I said, they were head nodding, they were gritty, still soulful, you know, nice usage of, you know, just drums and using samples. So all of that was on point. Lyrically, man, is Black Thought just being Black Thought, just kind of living in the matrix and doing things that other people just can't really do. Dude, he has this really pristine, like, perfect flow, man. You listen to him rap and it's like he never misses a beat. He always sounds in place. He never sounds out of breath. He never misses a note. Dude is like a master technician of rhyming. Like, it's crazy to listen to. Like I said, I'm pretty sure if you're a Black Thought fan, or even if you're not, we all saw the Funk Flex freestyle that he did, where dude is rapping for an insane amount of time, never loses his breath, never sounds like he's about to fall off beat or anything. Like, he just goes in, man. And that's what this whole EP is. It's just this whole EP is just bars on bars on bars over Ninth Wonder production, and it's great. Like, it's not, in terms of like content, it's not crazy topical. I mean, he hints on a few themes. He, you know, kind of talks about growing up in Philly, things he saw in the Philly streets when he was growing up, and kind of how the culture was then to how it is now. But a lot of this is also him just braggadociously just kind of rapping circles around the entire globe. I do like the one thing he does in this album, in a lot of bars, the references that he makes. He references a lot of these lines that I could say they went over my head. There's a lot of the people that he'll reference. He references like old philosophers and filmmakers and musicians, you know, black historians, etc., etc. So a lot of the references he makes, I think, are just really dope. Like, he'll drop a name that's a gem that you might just have to research just to see who he's talking about. You can tell he's a very, very educated, very well-read, somebody who definitely studies a lot, I would say, based on the references that he uses and drops. So that makes it an interesting listen too. Just on that tip, man, like, you can literally you might pick up on a new name from this that you've never heard before, because he's just making a reference to somebody, and just like, who is this person, and that can send you down a whole nother rabbit hole. So yeah, man, this is just Black Thought putting on a superhero cape and just going in, man. The EP is only 5 tracks. Every track, there aren't any bad tracks on here. You get some dope features, which I'll also get into. So like I said, out of the 5 tracks, I really like all of them. Some of my favorites, Ninth versus Thought, Ninth Wonder, that beat, just a really dope, just good hip hop, just straight head nodder, man. Ninth killed that beat. Black Thought, man, what was the line? I'm gonna find this because there we go. You fucking with me, you tripping for trying that at all. I mess around, make the call, get the gat involved. I know people, it's a small world after all. Then he had the line about something, my girl looking like Cinderella at the ball, something, like he was dude hit the plane takeoff. Like, you know that noise to make when the plane going down the driveway and then it finally lift. Like, bro, he just hit the lift off and he ain't landed ever since. Like, he's just been going in, man. 215, which is the opener. this track does have kind of a bit of a narrative. He talks about a lot of the streets of Philly, kind of like things like the murder and just the negativity he was surrounded by. But I feel like he kind of brings it full circle because he talks about, I think in the beginning he kind of talks about like how it was when his granddad was growing up, and then he kind of references it back to him, and then he brings it up to speed to now. So I thought that was cool. So 215 was a really dope one. I like the ending, the last like couple bars where he says, "In a pyramid scheme, nightmares and daydreams, from the runaway slave to a modern day king." I thought that was just a dope line to end the song with after you listen to everything previous. Like I said, it kind of talks about like the history of Philly, the things he's seen in terms of like the violence and all that, and then he kind of wraps it all up with that. So I thought that was pretty dope. This next track, which I'm probably going to butcher the name, is it Dostoevsky or Dostoevsky, who I never heard of until this point. But he is someone who is referenced heavily in this song, and a lot of his works are referenced heavily in this song. I like this beat that Ninth did. Black Thought does some gluten in this one. I like the first half of the track. He's kind of like, really like in the opening line, he's kind of just puffing his chest out, kind of just celebrating how good he is. And he also talks about like, cause when he was younger, how hungry he was to kind of get what he has now. And really dope feature from Rhapsody on this song also. I love the line, I said I'm Dostoevsky meets Joe Pesci, tired of staring at a glass half empty, turning me from Dr. Sebi to cock and semis. I thought that was a pretty fire line. Rhapsody's verse on here, man. I was built to run the game. I came up playing guard with young niggas between 5'5" and 6'4". I banged over both, trying to bank over some more and ball out in something gorgeous that'll keep me in court. She had that whole scheme, and then she had another scheme. I didn't write it down, but she had another scheme with like Jay Dilla with donuts and cops or something. That whole, like, when you actually read it, if it clicks, that scheme was fire, man. So Rhapsody held her own against the legend. She ain't come out here and get washed on the track, man. She came out here and did her thing. So yeah, that track is fire. Making a Murder with Styles P, a real gritty track. I think Styles P was definitely perfect to go over this kind of beat, so his verse was dope. But I love Black Thought's line, Alpha and Omega, you betas, I march harder than batteries, y'all ain't included, y'all not a part of it. Like, yo, get out of here. Like, it's so much just lyrical flexing on this album, and I love it. I love it, man. I don't got a lot to say, man. It's only 5 tracks. It's Black Thought being Black Thought. And this is called Streams of Thought Volume 1. I don't even know if I mentioned what the title of this album was. I've just been going off. The EP is called Streams of Thought Volume 1. So I'm assuming it's Volume 2 somewhere. So we need that, man. Next time, preferably longer. Maybe next time a whole album. I'm just saying. But, man. Yeah. Streams of Thought, Black Thought, Ninth Wonder, heater. straight heater, man. Just listen to the freestyle he did on Funk Flex, and that's just, this EP is that over Ninth Wonder beats. That's pretty much what this is. And I like I said, I really appreciate that this doesn't sound like a Roots project. Like, this sounds completely separate of that, which I appreciate Ninth for crafting these style of beats for Black Thought to go over, because it, like I said, this doesn't sound like a Roots album that just so happens to be a Black Thought solo album. Like, this sounds something completely independent of that, which I think is good, you know, for Black Thought. But yeah, man, Streams of Thought Volume 1, Black Thought, Ninth Wonder, straight heat. Go listen, go cop, you know, whatever, and go listen to some Roots albums, man. if you haven't listened to some Roots albums, man, listen. Like I said, Illadelph Half-Life, How I Got Over, Rising Down, Undone, Things Fall Apart. I feel like I'm missing one. What was the album that had Clock with No Hands? I forgot. Roots got so many albums, man. They're all good. Just listen to any of them, man. None of them are bad. They're all really good. But I would say, I think, how in recent memory, if I'm correct, How I Got Over is probably my favorite Roots album. But all their projects are dope. And now Black Thought is creating a solo legacy, and I'm all for it. So shout out to Black Thought and Ninth Wonder, man, giving us a great project. Just bars on bars on bars. It's awesome. So go give that a listen. Last album I will be reviewing, Kanye West, Kid Cudi, come together to form the group Kids See Ghosts. And that is also the title of the album. So I never talked about Kanye's album, and I'm just gonna reference it real quick because it ties into this one. I did not really like Kanye's album. It was weird because hearing the production on this and also on Push's album and even on Nas's album, which I'll eventually be reviewing hopefully sometime soon, all of theirs sounded so much more focused than Kanye's did. Like, Kanye's to me sounded really just flat, man. I wasn't, nothing really jumped out outside of Yikes and Ghost Town. Those were like the only two songs I enjoyed. And I'll mainly just talk about Ghost Town because Ghost Town on Kanye's album featured Kid Cudi. And that was the one song where I was like, you know what? I'm interested to hear what him and Cudi would sound like together for a full project. Because that track I thought was pretty good. And we get part 2 of Ghost Town on this album. So I was really interested to see where Kanye would go production-wise, how this would sound. And I can say, man, like I said, I don't know what's going on with Kanye. I feel like he didn't give himself the best production. But my God, he gave everybody else some heat. Because, well, I guess I can't say that because he's on this project, but I just mean in terms of like his solo work compared to when he's working with other people. But I enjoyed this a lot more than I thought I would. Not that I thought this was gonna be bad, but I was a little cautious. I was a little iffy. I wasn't too sure, what I was gonna get or how this was gonna sound, but This was really good, man. I really enjoyed this this project. Once again, didn't mind that it was 7 tracks. Flowed really well. I can listen to it on repeat, and it sinks in quicker. So yeah, man, I put this on, and I can say the first thing that really like jumped out at me, it was the sound. It was the production, man. It's a lot of Kanye gave a lot of different just vibes on this album, different feels, man. Tracks like Feel the Love start off real slow, then it just gets like stupid chaotic, and the drums start slapping in, and that comes in. Like, I love the feel of that track. Then you get joints like Fourth Dimension. That joint has like a nice little knock to it. Sounds real kind of boisterous. That kind of like cocky Kanye feel. Tracks like Free got like this like psychedelic rock instrumental. Other beats, kind of like Kids See Ghosts, are a bit more, I'm gonna think of the word, I guess like spacey and airy. I guess a little bit darker. So it's a lot of different vibes on here, but it all flows together really well. It sounds really well. It sounds layered. It sounds focused. This to me was what Kanye's album should have been. Like, your album should have felt this focused, this, it just sounded like there was a lot of thought. There was a much more thought and much more, attention to detail put into the instrumentals on this project compared to Kanye's solo work. But either way, here nor there, Kids See Ghosts, sound-wise, man, a lot of just diverse vibes, but it all comes together really well. Beats are just really dope. They really fit Cudi really well, and I was interested to see how Cudi would, would be on this project, because I haven't really liked the Cudi album in a pretty long time, but I really love Man on the Moon, and I was like, can I get that Cudi back? Maybe can he make I just want to get that feel back one more time, and I feel like I kind of did, man. This is the best I've heard Cudi here in a long time. Really both of them, because Kanye he lost me up a while ago. I don't really want to get into that, but I feel like they kind of brought the best out of each other. This is the best I've heard from both of them, I would say, in quite some time. On the vocal side, like Cudi's, I don't know if you want to call it singing, his humming or crooning, whatever you want to call it, sounded pretty good, man. His rapping was good. Kanye's flow, if you compare Kanye's rapping and flow on from this album compared to Ye, it's night and day. He sounds so much more clean, delivery so much more smoother on this album. He had some pretty solid verses with good content. So, like I said, just vocal wise, lyric wise, I think this album brought out, I think, the best of both of them in terms of like things we just want to see and hear from them. You want to hear Cudi do his little humming thing. You want to hear Kanye kind of, work his braggadociousness in, which is definitely on this album. So, in terms of that, man, I think they brought the best out of each other. Content-wise, I also thought this album was pretty dope. And like I said, you get the best of what you would want from both of them. You want, people love like that kind of cocky, boisterous Kanye, which I think you get a lot of on that Fourth Dimension. He's got some crazy lines in that track. So you get that side of Kanye, but you get some conscious Kanye's, and I'm not gonna go into whether or not he wrote it. I don't know who wrote what. I'm not here to talk about that. That's a whole different issue. But what track was that? He had a track that definitely addressed like police brutality. I want to say was it Cudi Montage? Might have been Cudi Montage. I might be getting my tracks mixed up. But either way, like they Kanye and Cudi both have good content on here. You also get dealings with things like mental health, which they both cover really well. I think Cudi did a great job of that on this album. I think those were some of his shining moments, just dealing with issues of mental health. But I thought it was cool that they kind of took the approach of not just talking about the mental health, but kind of having like a breakthrough with it, like kind of, I guess quote unquote freeing themselves of those shackles, especially on tracks like Free, which is Ghost Town Part 2, and Reborn. So I thought that was really dope, man. The album is, like I said, has like a lot of different feels. It can be entertaining, but it can be like uplifting at the same time. So I just think they hit a lot of angles very well. Songs are just crafted, well put together. The features on here are pretty dope. Get a Mos Def feature. I haven't heard from him in a while. It's cool to hear him on Kids See Ghosts. Ty Dolla $ign did a great job on Ghost Town Part 2 with his guest vocals, man. He's not all over the song, but the parts he is on, he does a really great job. Pusha T kicks off the album with a guest feature verse, so that was pretty dope. Like I said, this album just sounds a lot more focused, man. Lots of different kinds of sounds, but it's good content. It's the best of Kanye and Cudi, like what you would want to hear from them. And in my opinion, that's what I took away from it. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. And like I said, with mental health being definitely an issue that is finally being pushed more into the forefront, I thought they both did a good job of covering aspects of that. But like I said, it kind of in like a positive way of them having kind of breakthroughs. And whether or not, how you feel about Kanye personally, or Cudi, that's neither here nor there. I don't want to get into that right now. I'm trying to just stick with the music part of it. So just looking at it just from the music perspective and how it was delivered, I appreciated them touching on those issues. And like I said, making it making it sound more like you can get through this, like you'll be fine, like you can power through this. It might be difficult at times, but there's, you know, cliche, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel, basically. But I really appreciated that part content wise of the album. Favorite tracks, once again, another really short project. I pretty much enjoyed every track on here. I would say the only song I didn't care for, and it's not that it was even bad, I would probably say was Fire. But everything else on here I can pretty much listen to all the way through. But favorite tracks, definitely Feel the Love. Great opener. Like I said, I love how chaotic it gets when them drums, it starts off like real slow, and then them drums kick in, and then, you know, Cudi's in the back with the Feel the Love, you know, singing on the hook, and then you get that. When I first heard that, I was like, yo, this is hard. Like, I don't care how weird this sounds. It don't make no sense, but I like it. So I really love Feel the Love. Fourth Dimension, that beat is just so mean. So that's a head nodder, man. I really just enjoy the instrumental on that one. Ghost Town Part 2, like I said, I love just that rock vibe it has. And like I said, the guest vocals from Ty Dolla $ign are perfect for that track. It fit together very, very well. So that was definitely a favorite. Reborn is definitely another favorite cut. The song does get a bit repetitive, but I just kind of like the overall feel of it, and like I said, the mental health aspect of it, of him, really both of them talking about just kind of going through their personal issues, whether it be like mental health or just other issues that they just have going on in their lives, and just kind of being able to persevere and eventually like find peace, you know, with themselves. So that track I really enjoyed. But really, like, I like all these, man. I like all of these tracks. Like I said, literally, aside from Fire, which isn't a bad track, it just wasn't. It's not one of the ones I really go back to. The rest of this is really good, man. I really enjoyed this, and like I said, shout outs to Mos Def. We got to hear him on Kids See Ghosts. That track had a pretty different vibe to it to hear Mos Def over, so that was pretty awesome. Cudi Montage is a great closer to this track. I mean, to this album or EP, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, man, this I enjoyed this a lot more than I thought I would, and I'm really pleased with what I got. I like the content, the instrumentals. I think really shine on this album. Like I said, it's creative. It's so many different just vibes and feels to it, but it all comes together really well. So I've been replaying this a lot more than I thought I would. Did not think I would enjoy this project so much, but I've definitely been going back to it, and I would not be surprised if this is in my top 20 at the end of the year. So yeah, man, shout outs to Kanye and Cudi. I mean, Kanye be wildin' still. You know, I still can't really give you a pass for the Slavery Was a Choice. I don't even want to get into that discussion right now. But strictly on the music tip, man, good job from both gentlemen. This project definitely delivered. Yeah, man, it was a really good showing from both. I think they both got a chance to display what we really like about them. Like they gave us the best versions of themselves, I think, that we've heard in some time. So Kanye West, Kid Cudi, Kids See Ghosts, you know, give this a listen. Shout out to BZ from Dead in Hip Hop, who's been on the silent Kanye protest. It's just funny watching those reviews, and he's just sitting there on his phone. But I respect it, man. Everybody's, you know, is, you know, entitled to their own opinion, and I ain't mad at you for the protest at all, because I get it. I get it. Slavery was a choice. That's wild. That's wild. But curiosity just gets the best of me a lot of the time, so I give into a lot of these albums, and I gave into this one. But I do like it. I can't as much as I can't relate to what Kanye been saying in these interviews and how he's been bugging, but just on the music tip, I can't listen to this and lie and say that I don't enjoy it. So, and really, I wanted to hear this for Kid Cudi. I was really hoping Kid Cudi came through on this project, because I wanted to hear a Kid Cudi song and be happy again, and I got that, and I'm really glad I listened to this. If for anything, man, I put this on and I got good Kid Cudi verses and humming and singing, whatever you want to call it, from him, and that put a smile on my face. So Kids See Ghosts, man, pretty dope project. Definitely give this a listen. It's only 7 tracks. You can get through this in like 25 minutes or something crazy like that. So it ain't even gonna keep you there too long. So those are the albums I got on deck. And then I guess I'll just float into my recommendation, and then we can just get on out of here. So my recommendation is an album, a full-length album, not short like these EPs and whatever you want to call these other projects that I just went through. But this album came out last year, and it is from a group entitled Rose Gold, which is made up of producer 14KT and rapper Ro Spit. I believe both of these gentlemen are from Detroit. Prior to this project, I'm familiar with 14KT. So I went through a phase a while ago. I was just really heavy into like beat tapes and searching for really just dope producers, and 14KT was a name that I came across. I always remembered his name, and I remembered how much I enjoyed his beats. I didn't own any of his projects, but he was just, like I said, there's so much music out there. People get lost in the shuffle. But he was a name that, like, if I saw his name, I remembered it. And I knew if a track said produced by 14KT, I knew the beat was about to be some heat. Because I can't say I've ever heard a whack 14KT beat before. So I was familiar with him. Ro Spit, I was not familiar with at all. This was pretty much my introduction to him. So I've had to kind of research. I think he used to be a DJ once upon a time. So he has a pretty extensive music history. He's been in the game for a while. So I have to read up on him some more. I think he does have a few other solo projects out. But this is pretty much my introduction to him. I want to say Beezy from Dead End Hip Hop posted this album. I want to say it was him who posted this. And I know I saw this on a few blog sites as well. But it caught my eye. I wanted to listen to it because, like I said, I think Beezy gave it a cosign. And this is one of the times I saw 14KT's name pop across the screen. I was like, let me check out and see what he's been up to lately. Because I don't know if he's been putting out music. He probably has. It's just how the internet, the internet black hole is large. You get sucked in and people get lost in the shuffle. So you can't keep up with everybody. But I decided to just give this a listen off the strength. And bro, this joint right here. And just for clarification, so you guys can search, the group is called Rose Gold. It's spelled RSXGLD. And I'll leave a link to their Bandcamp, so you guys can listen and definitely purchase the album if you feel so. I will be going to Fat Beats so I can get the physical copy, because I definitely need to support this, because this joint is heat. Like, this album, the beats on here are so creative that these joints are slapping, man. It's hard to even describe to production, but like he can give you a lot of different vibes, man. Some of these joints are slapping, like that beat for everybody know that joint is a banger. Give It All, which is like a 7-minute banger. That joint goes in. He's got just some, like I said, he's got some joints that slap. He's got some head nodders. Just really just creative. It's just fire, man. It's just fire. That's all you need to know. Like, this joint knocks. Ro Spit, in terms of lyrics, he's got bars, just good clever lines, good wordplay, good content. This is one of those groups that, a la Run the Jewels, a la like a Freddie Gibbs and a Mad Lib, or recently Elzhi and Crisis with Jericho Jackson. Like, y'all need to put out some more projects together, because this match just works. It fits. It just fits so perfect, man. Like I said, these beats, the beats are what drew me in. The beats were definitely what drew me in, man. The beats are very well crafted. Like I said, the beats are knocking. Ro definitely got bars on deck, got some good lines. This album has some really dope features. People like Elzhi and Jameson pop up on here. I think Denon Porter is also on the track. I think Royce is on the track too, actually, on here. Yeah, man, this album is just really good. Like, I can't overstate that enough, man. I'm almost mad that I didn't. If I would have reviewed this last year, because this album has been on my radar for a while, now I'm just now like getting to it and like actually sitting down with it, man. If I would have reviewed this last year, I have no doubt this had been on my top 20. This definitely would have snuck in there. At least it would have got an honorable mention if it didn't make the top 20. But this, bro, listen to this album, man. Once again, the group is Rose Gold, spelled RSXGLD. Some of the standout tracks, if you just want to search on YouTube, see what you're getting into before you listen to the album. I can give you a couple. I believe they have a video for the track ICU. That's a dope cutoff here. I would suggest listening to Everybody Know That, because I think that was like the first track I heard, and I heard that beat, and I was like, oh, bro, I'm all in. I'm all in. Just beats and everything about that was just dope. But Everybody Know That, I believe, featuring Jameson, that's a fire track. Over Your Shoulder, which features Elzhi, that's a side track. What's Happening, Brother, that track is awesome. If you listen to the album, I know we like to skip skits and stuff, but listen to the skit called Brilliant Cut right before What's Happening, Brother. He kind of explains how that track came together, and that story was just wild, and it kind of makes you appreciate the track even more once you listen to it. So that was just a really awesome song to listen to. Give It All is dope. Really every song on here is dope. It's 12 tracks. It's good bars over some real creative production it's just fire. I don't know it's hard to describe. Just go on YouTube. Like I said, I'm gonna leave links down below so y'all can go check it out. You'll know what I'm talking about. You will understand the heat that I'm talking about when you give this album a listen, man. This joint, this is a sleeper. Like, this is one of those albums that I might have to shove in some people's faces. Like, listen, I know you might not know who these two guys are, but you need to get on. I know I got on the train late, but I caught the ride, man. I got my ticket late, but I'm in there. Like I said, I'm definitely going to go over to fatbeats.com so I can get a physical copy of this, or I hope they still got physicals. Last time I checked, they did. But this album is some heat, some certified heat, and I will continue to say, man, Detroit on the low has a lot of the best lyricists on the planet. And speaking of Detroit, quick other mentions, man. I've been seeing some clear soul forces rumblings going on. I don't know if they got another project ready, but I've been seeing novelists post some videos. I didn't even know. Is it Illajade? I always say his name wrong. I didn't know he put out an album that I listened to yesterday. His album was pretty good. He put out another solo project. I think E-Fave has a project coming. So Detroit, man, Detroit be killing it. Detroit be killing it. But Rose Gold, man, 14KT, Ro Spit. Give this a listen. I will leave relevant links in the description below so you guys can check this out. Definitely. I cannot stress it enough. Give this project a listen. I promise you will not regret it. But that's all I got for y'all today, man. I think I'm gonna go see Incredibles 2 today because I'm a big kid and I want to see Incredibles 2. I don't need to explain myself to y'all. I'm gonna go see Incredibles 2 and puff my chest out, and ain't nobody's gonna say nothing. And I bought the SNES Classic the other day, so I've been playing Star Fox and Super Punch Out, and it's been fun, even though I've been losing. But I've been having the time of my life. So it's been dope. But yeah, man, that's all I got for album reviews today. I'll be trying not to fall behind, but like I said, man, I got a lot of work going on, a lot of good work. Like I said, between the podcast and doing album reviews, talking about fights, working on other creative endeavors. I said endeavors. You know, I got a lot going on, so I know I don't get around to these is in a timely fashion as I would like to, but you know, rather late than never. And man, we on 91, bro. Episode 91. I'm gonna try to do, I don't know how, because I'm not a planner. I'm terrible with planning, but I want to do something fun for some of these episodes in the 90s. So I don't know, I might try to get some interviews or just get some new guests in here, do something fun leading up to episode 100, which I'm not even sure what episode 100 is going to be about, but it's probably just going to be pure shenanigans. But you know, this stretch to 100, man, it's been fun. It's not easy, man, being consistent, dropping episodes every week, trying to make sure you put out content every week. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I've said this before. My first goal was just to make it to like 20 episodes, and here I am in the 90s, almost at 100. So yeah, man, it's been real fun. Been appreciating the connections and cool people I've gotten to talk to just off of making podcasts. People who've shown support. So it's been pretty awesome. Just being able to connect with other creative minds, but. Yeah, man, we out here. We in the 90s. We gunning for episode 100. It's gonna be a fun ride getting there. But I'll see, man. Like I said, the stretch to episode 100, I'm gonna try to do some fun episodes, bring in some guests, maybe do some interviews. But we'll see. Don't hold me to any of this, because like I said, I'm not a good planner. I kind of act on impulse a lot. I just wake up and see kind of what I'm feeling that day. So, but we'll see, man. I want to do something. Do some cool stuff for you guys for these next few episodes coming up. But anywho, man, go listen to all the albums I've talked about and recommended. Go give E3 a look. Let me know maybe what was your favorite game you saw from E3, or what games you just been playing lately in general. I ain't even talking about anime, man. My Hero Academia, bro. The United States Smash, bro. All Might out here killing it. But that's too late. I ain't talked about it earlier, so I can't talk about it now. But Into the Badlands mid-season finale. By the time you guys hear this, it will probably have happened already. But if you have not watched Into the Badlands yet, get your life together, because this mid-season finale fin to be heat. There will be heat. Pilgrim's here, Sonny's here, MK's here. It's about to go down. It is about to go down. So that show's awesome. I'm definitely looking forward to that tonight. But yeah, man, it's been another episode of the Dojotalkpodcast. I'm your host, Serial Sensei. You can catch this podcast on SoundCloud, YouTube, Google Play, iTunes. Or iTunes, please rate, subscribe, leave a review. Send emails to dojotalkpodcast@yahoo.com. And you can follow me on Twitter @Serial Sensei. That is all I got for you guys today. Thank you for listening. Once again, happy Father's Day to all of my fathers out there. And happy Father's Day to my dad, who at this point is probably at a beach somewhere or driving to the beach. So shout outs to him. Yeah, man, you guys have a nice weekend. It's been another episode of the Dojotalk Podcast, and I will catch you guys later.